These boys and those boys might be appeared on different sides. But when push comes to shove, these boys and those boys, if they got Mamaw still living, they all end up around the same kitchen table. And if Mamaw still ain't living, then they end up around several different tables up and down the holler. But one thing's for sure, they're all from the holler, and at the end of the day, they're all family. That means they'll cover up for each other. These boys and those boys. No matter how far apart they seem, they'll always stick together. And that is the Hollerticks. That is absolute Candace, Jody Sue, for sure. Andy. That weird womanizing son of a bitch. Frank Lott's fucking ass. I knowed he was weird when he dressed too clean. Fuck him. That son of a bitch molested children. Fuck y'all. His thing was full of child porn, weirdo. But these boys and those boys all have a long history. And there's one of them that can't seem to keep their mouth shut. Y'all know her. Now, she's the one that comes on the scene as Candace and Don's big buddies. You know, at first everybody's like, oh, that we don't know her neighbors. And Jody Sue said, oh, well, I don't fool with them. But yet, in the very beginning, she was their best friends. These boys and those boys. The local news tells us that no one's been ruled out. Everyone's a person of interest or a suspect. Absolutely. If you remember, she's the one that said, you know, she's in charge of who buys what up in there. Because that land's somehow her business. These boys and those boys. And no, honey, we ain't forgot about you, Jody Sue. Just because you had a shitty man does not mean that you ain't part of these boys and those boys. It just means that you have motive and opportunity, along with Candace and Don. And Andy, and your son. The world just don't get these boys and those boys. These boys and those boys are just simple as this. The past and the present. Where two morals collide. That's all.
Keep dismissing since day one and trying to make it seem like it ain't something it is. And those fucking dogs are the key. Those dogs are the key. You wanna know how I know that? Because they're partly my pups. Because I sat there for over a month listening in the dark as footsteps left that driveway, as gravel crunched below Dawn's heels, as I listened to boards lift up and things move around in the dark, as I watched things disappear off of my trail cams after y'all suddenly realized I had them. All these little pieces. But that is exactly where I saw Summer last. And she was yelling, kind of being a brat. Nobody couldn't get her a towel. And I had to ask. I was like, is that the voice? Because there's a shadow behind her, right? And her hair. And then here you are on that live, chatting me on Facebook the other night, telling me that, no, it was you that had gotten out of the shower. So remember? No, because that ain't true. It's not true. I remember the truth, which is exactly where and how I saw Summer last.
Well, I seem to remember how fucking mad you was over all the noise that you had to fucking hear. I can't stand you. You might be a fucking domestic violence victim, but you're a piece of shit. You was bitching because of all the noise that come up before Summer and after. What kind of Appalachian bitches over church people coming to pay their respects or give comfort? I might not like Don and Candace, but I damn sure don't like you either. Yes, it all boils down to these boys and those boys.